G'day everyone, welcome to Factual Gooner, the channel that gives you raw, unbiased opinions on all Arsenal and football related matters. Today, I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons on why Arsenal should go get Antonio Conte right now to replace Mikel Arteta. So, Conte, we all know him, he's the former coach of Juventus, Chelsea and Inter Milan, and one of the most well-regarded managers in world football. Now, there have been a couple sources going around the last 24 hours potentially linking Conte with a move to the Emirates. So, we start off with about 24 hours ago where we had Fabrizio Romano saying that there's absolutely no pre-agreement between Antonio Conte and Arsenal. Conte has no verbal agreement with any club and he's free. This was in response to a few early rumours going around. Later on the same day, we had Gab Marcotti from ESPN, another very reputable source, basically saying that the intermediaries of Antonio Conte have spoken to Arsenal and that he would take the job under the right conditions. So, Gab's basically said there's some conversations going on. Fabrizio has not actually flat out denied that Conte has not spoken to Arsenal. All he has said is that there's no agreement yet. So, regardless of what's going on, what's true or false, I'm going to give you 5 reasons, regardless of why Antonio Conte needs to come to Arsenal right now and why Arsenal should do absolutely everything in their power to bring him to the Emirates. So, reason number 1, he is a winner. Let's look at it this way. Antonio Conte has won so many trophies, both as a player and a manager. He was a fantastic player for the Italian national team and Juventus, and he's translated that to becoming a coach. As both a player and a coach, he has won multiple trophies. If you look at his record with Juventus as a player, he won 5 Serie A's, 1 Coppa Italia, 4 Supercoppa Italianas, 1 UEFA Champions League, 1 UEFA Cup, and he also came runner-ups in the 94 World Cup and the 2000 Euros. That is a CV as a player, is absolutely phenomenal, and he was regarded as one of the greatest midfielders of his generation. Now, as a manager, he's translated that success very, very well. Starting off with this Italian Serie B win with Bari, he then moved to Juventus, where he won 3 Serie A's and 2 Super Italias. Then he moved on to Chelsea, of course, in the Premier League, took it by storm, won the Premier League in his first season, won an FA Cup the season after. And more recently at Juventus, he basically won a Serie A title, ending Juventus' 9-year run, ironically started by himself. As you can see by his track record, the guy knows how to win, the guy knows how to win trophies. Arsenal have been starved of the highest honours for the last 17, 18 years, and Conte is the man to come in and take us back to that winning pedigree. Reason number 2, Conte gets instant results. Now, there's two key words in that. Number 1, he actually gets results, which is what we're not getting under Mikel Arteta. But number 2, he gets them instantly. If you're an Arsenal fan, you've been waiting patiently for 17 years to even challenge for the Premier League again, let alone win it. Since Mikel Arteta's come in, under Arteta, Edu and Vinai, all you've been fed is trust the process. Well, I'm sorry, this process has taken us absolutely nowhere in 20 months. Mikel Arteta has broken record after record after record. Vinai and Edu keep coming out with PR spins that contradict everything they've said when they first started their roles. And this process, we are not actually making progress at all. We're actually going backwards. Now, with Antonio Conte, he doesn't need a process. And even if he does, it's instant. It happens just like that. Let's look at how he's implemented this. At Juventus, he picked them up when Juve finished 7th in the Italian Serie A in 2010. His first season in 2011, he won the league straight away, and he also went unbeaten in that season, winning 28 games and drawing 10 games, being the new record under this new 38-game format. So, didn't need a process for that, right? Let's also look at what he did with Chelsea. We all know when he came into Chelsea, Chelsea were a shambles. They finished 10th the season before. They were lingering in 16th by December as well. The club was in disarray after Jose Mourinho lost the entire dressing room. And basically none of the players really gave a damn at all. Enter Antonio Conte. He galvanizes that team after a pretty dodgy start, changes the systems, and boom, just like that, Chelsea go on to win the Premier League, breaking a record at the time with 30 wins in 38 games. No process needed there. Now, if we look more recently to his time at Inter Milan. Now, in Inter Milan, when his first season, when he went there, he got them to the Europa League final straight away. Now, for a team like Inter at the time, who were very much struggling, dealing with a whole load of issues both on and off the field, he took them to a Europa League straight away. The very next season, he won the Italian Serie A. In only a second season at Inter Milan, Antonio Conte was able to break 9 years of dominance by Juventus and win the Serie A. So, in all three of his last club jobs, he basically took them to success instantly. The only place he didn't do was Inter, and albeit he still only finished about a point behind Juventus in his first season. So as you can see, Conte comes in, we don't need a process, we don't need to spend a lot of money, he'll get results and he'll get us winning straight away. Reason number 3 why we should get Antonio Conte, he has a system that gets the best out of players. Now he's quite famous for his 3 at the back formations. He's played both a 3-5-2 and a 3-4-3. However, he is known to play a 4 at the back as well. Whatever the case though, he always implements a system, a tactical setup, and he basically prepares his players in a way that gets the best out of every single player. I'm going to rattle through a few players that looked absolutely world class under Antonio Conte. Now Juventus, he was blessed with a lot of good talent, but he still got the very best out of an aging Andrea Pirlo by putting Arturo Vidal next to him to be his legs. He also brought through Paul Pogba in his second season, and we all know that Pogba ended up lighting up the Serie A and then eventually moved back to Man United for £89 million. Under Conte, we also saw the very best of the prime defensive partnership of Bonucci and Chiellini. And basically, through his 3-year dominance at Juve, he won everything and made every single one of those players look absolutely stunning. Now, let's go to Chelsea. His time at Chelsea, they were a team in disarray, just finished 10th the season before, like I said. Antonio Conte was able to make players like Victor Moses look world class. Now, since Conte has left the Premier League, we've barely seen Victor Moses play at all. And if he has, he's been on loan. Now, I actually genuinely, for a period of time, believed that Victor Moses was a world-class right wing-back. But really, it was Antonio Conte's system and the defensive structure around it which allowed Victor Moses to utilize the strength and bomb up and down that right wing. Antonio Conte also managed to make Marcos Alonso look fantastic after bringing him in under his tenure. Alonso's been through ups and downs since his time at Chelsea, but under Conte, he looked like an absolute Rolls Royce of a left wing back. He also famously made David Luiz look reborn and rejuvenated again. Luiz was always a player that was seen as defensively suspect. I personally couldn't stand David Luiz myself at Arsenal, but under Conte in that back 3, Luiz was balling it out, spraying passes everywhere, had that extra protection around him. That allowed Luiz to focus on what he was good at stepping out with the ball, playing those long passes over the midfield into the attacking trio, and under that system, it hid all of his defensive frailties. Now let's fast forward to Inter Milan. His work and development on Romelu Lukaku is, for me, by far his greatest achievement of taking a player to the absolute next level. Now, when Lukaku left Manchester United in England, every single fan in the Premier League was basically laughing at him for having the worst first touch of a professional footballer and for missing so many chances in the Premier League. He was overweight at the time too. Conte whipped him into shape. Conte was able to basically get the absolute best out of him. And Lukaku more recently, so that Antonio Conte was the best coach he ever worked under, and it's because of Conte that he's become this well-rounded striker today. I have no doubt in my mind that Lukaku is going to become the top scorer in the Premier League this season, and he's going to absolutely smash it for Chelsea. Now, also, if we look at what Antonio Conte did as well at Inter, he brought in what we call Antonio Conte also brought in so-called Premier League rejects in Alexis, Sanchez, Darmian, and Ashley Young, ironically all from Man United. Now, he took them from being absolute fringe players and on the subs bench at Man United and made them part of a title-winning squad. I bet you anyone, no Manchester United fan would have wanted to keep any 3 of those players at all for a title charge, but lo and behold, Antonio Conte was able to take them and win a Serie A off Juventus. So when I look at his track record here, there are so many players at Arsenal that I think are just bang average and below average, but I reckon under a proper manager like Antonio Conte, he could squeeze something out of them to the point where I might actually think they're half-capable players. Now, reason number 4 why we need Antonio Conte is his strong personality. He's not a yes man, he's not one of these soft people that are going to pander the media, and he's not going to give us very PR answers full of lies. Antonio Conte says it like it is. He will actually challenge the board. He will actually challenge the owners and call them out if they do not give him what he wants. Because of this mindset he has, I'm absolutely certain that with Antonio Conte here, he will not be accepting mediocrity and will be accepting absolutely nothing short of success and titles. Right now, For me, a huge part of the reason why we've fallen is because of our global fan base. Now, although I get that Arsenal fans globally are the reason why it's so huge, I think a huge portion of the fans are way too accepting of the new standards that we've set ourselves. They're too accepting of the position that we're in, and they're very, very unwilling to really accept better and accept progression and challenging for titles. We are paying the most expensive ticket prices in Europe after all, so why can we not be challenging? We've also had the highest spend in Europe in the transfer window this season, and I'm pretty sure we're amongst the top 5 in total spend over the last 5 seasons. If you think about it, Antonio Conte is going to come in, he's going to raise the bar, raise those expectations once again, and get us challenging and really thinking like an elite club once more. And the final point on this is that with Antonio Conte at Arsenal, rival fans are actually going to be bricking it. They will be worried. No matter what they say to you, with Conte at Arsenal, he will give every single rival fan and rival manager something to think about. Reason number 5 why we need to bring in Antonio Conte is because of his passion. If you look at Antonio Conte on the football pitch, he's always on the touchline, always barking orders at his players, saying, yeah, you go here, you go there, drop deep, come on, let's go as a line. You don't see that from Arsenal managers, and when you see it from Arteta, he's basically just confusing the players to the point that they don't even understand what he wants to do. One other great point about Antonio Conte is, if you notice during his tenure at Chelsea especially, he was celebrating every single goal with the fans. He was jumping in the crowds, he was hyping the fans up, he was telling them to get up for it. This kind of passion is exactly what we need to really light up the noise and excitement at the Emirates, which I find many times to be like a library. In the modern game as well, one huge thing that we don't see as much anymore is a manager really connecting with the fans. At every club he's been to, Antonio Conte always walks out on the pitch after a game, regardless of what the result is. He goes up and claps the fans and really thanks them, and he leads his players out to go thank the fans together. Basically, because of this mindset, he will make sure those players are absolutely on it, will give 100% every game, and maybe if we bring Conte in, we'll actually start seeing the end of some of these abject performances where players just turn up and decide to drop 0 out of 10s and only turn up when they feel like it. So those are my top 5 reasons on why Arsenal need to go get Antonio Conte right now. There's no other big club really in for him right now. He's free, he's available, he's, in my mind, one of the top 5 managers in the modern game. Not getting Antonio Conte now would be a huge mistake. We've got to snap him up while the time is right. Let's get rid of Mikel Arteta. He's not been good enough. He's broken way too many records. Let's get in a proper serial winner who knows how to coach and get the best out of players. And maybe, just maybe, one day Arsenal can start challenging for the top honours again and really be regarded as an elite club rather than just a banter club with great online channels for your entertainment. Thank you so much for watching the video. Really appreciate your time. If you enjoyed the content, give me a like on the video, please. Leave me a comment below as well. I'd love to hear what you think of Antonio Conte to Arsenal. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Plenty more content coming. Until next time, I will speak to you very soon. Cheers, mates.